how I love is through creation, and so I try to create in abundance. So I try to love in abundance. So my biggest thing is I want to spread as much love as I can. I want to touch as many people as I can. I don't want to just make cartoons. I want to tell amazing stories that not just touch Black children, but I want them to have like a worldwide touch. Like I want these stories to resonate and inspire people all over. Hi, my name is Jaren J. Merchant, and I am an illustrator animator. I used to always watch, like Disney, in between the shows, they used to have like these quick shorts, and they would highlight like an artist that was working on whatever film was about to come out at the time. And I always knew I wanted to do art, but I didn't know what in art I wanted to do. Like I didn't know if I wanted to paint or do photography or sculpture. And then I saw, I think it was The Emperor's New Groove was about to come out. And before that, I had always seen like when they did the in between the shorts, it was always like an older white man doing like the drawings. Like I'm gonna draw Mickey Mouse, or I'm gonna draw like whatever animated character they need to draw. It was Bruce W. Smith, the creator of the Proud Family, and he also did the Bebe's Kids. He was drawing, I think he drew Cusco. And I was just like, oh wait, Black people draw, like they get paid to do this. And then like ever since then, I was just like, this is it, this is what I want to do. I've seen the light. I come from a very interesting background. I am one of 9. I fall in the middle. The majority of my family are all military. They're all combat vets. Both mom and dad are combat vets. I was raised by my father, big military man, very strict, but also there's like this immigrant character, because my father is West Indian, this very immigrant, you have to be at the top of everything that you do. Like excellence is the standard, nothing less. If you come home with a B, why didn't you have an A? Like if you come home with an A, why didn't you get the extra credit? Like it's always like, there was always that strive to be bigger and greater. So I think when I decided to do art, they were kind of like, no. Doctor, engineer. And then once like he started seeing how I could draw, I could really draw, he started seeing like my talent and like my drive for it. He was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. Let's see if you really stick to this. And it's just kind of like something that I've always like, even when I go into other things, I've always come back to art. I've always come back to do something creative. And I've learned it's something I gotta have in my life. I attended an HBCU for my undergrad, the illustrious Savannah State University out of Savannah, Georgia. The HBCU, for those who don't know, is a historically Black college or university. And I attended Savannah State for undergrad, and then for my animation studies, I attended SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design. It's one of the big art schools in the country. So just compared to the industry overall, the majority of the industry is predominantly white and Asian. Black people make up about 3% of the entire pipeline within animation, which is very baffling. That means there's probably, for every studio or office sheet, there's probably 1 or 2 Black people in each department, if they're there. So I tend to be more on the freelancing side. I'm not attached to a particular studio, so I work with various studios. Whoever is looking for help at the time, I help them out. So it's, and then the children's book space, Black children make up 13% of 100. White children make up 76% of the representation. Native and Indigenous make up 1%. And then I think Hispanic and Latino are right behind Black people with like 11 to 12%. It's like the gap is huge. Like there's still a lot of work to be done as far as like representation goes. So I try to do what I can to help ease that gap. People tend to put what they see or who they look like in their media. And if the media is dominated by predominantly white people, you're going to see predominantly white representation. That's just how everyone thinks. But I think the biggest way you can help is to include more diverse representation. I know it sounds like very cliche, but include more diverse representation in your media, and not just like from a Black or white perspective. Include Asian Americans, especially Native and Indigenous. They hardly get any representation. People from just all walks of life. Just think, how would you want to be represented if you had an opportunity to be seen? That's what other people think. They want to be seen as well. In a lot of the children's books that I do, when people approach me to illustrate for them, their biggest thing that they're trying to get across is diversity. When I tell stories, not only do I want to tell stories about diversity, but I also want to tell stories that aren't necessarily from a European perspective. So I like to adventure a lot into like African and Caribbean folklore. I like to explore those different stories versus telling like the Black version of Snow White or the Black version of Rapunzel. I want to tell, like, we have our own stories to tell, and it's time to start telling them. If you have a tablet or an iPad, you can upload this into your favorite like software like Procreate or Autodesk or something and do it digitally, or you could just get a printout and print this out and get some crayons or some markers and have at it. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and do it digitally since that's how I usually work. Fun fact about me, I am obsessed with elephants. I love them. They are the most majestic beings on the planet. Okay, one of my things that I want to do is visit the Sahara and feed an elephant. I think that would be amazing. So just, you know, it doesn't have to be neat, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just having fun. Keep your hands loose, you know. This is your world. Your elephant can be whatever color you want him to be. And I love teal because it is the perfect blend of blue and green. And then you're just gonna take your time, let go of the stress of the day, whatever you're worried about, and just color.